We're back from Euro Fantasy League headquarters to take a look at Groups D, E and F for the upcoming 2018 World Cup, with the likes of Argentina, Germany and Brazil all under the microscope today. Let's get into it. I'm your host Nicholas Carroll, and to help me analyse the teams today we have Chloe Beresford back in the hot seat. Welcome back.
Hi. Great to be back again, and I'm looking forward to getting started.
We'll start today off with Group D, which features Argentina, Croatia, Iceland and Nigeria. Argentina and Croatia seem to be significant favourites for this one, so we'll start with the South Americans. They very nearly missed out altogether on this World Cup, but can they finally put it together on the big stage?
I think that Argentina are somewhat of an enigma ahead of this tournament. They've obviously got the quality in the attacking front line, but have they got it elsewhere in the pitch? I'm not so sure. Having said that, if we look at Jorge Sampaoli's record with Chile 4 years ago, he got that side playing some really great attacking football, and they were unfortunate to lose to Brazil on penalties. So if he can bring Argentina together as a team, then who knows what they can achieve. And also, there is also the Messi factor that we just can't ignore.
As you mentioned, the forward line is so strong, perhaps illustrated by the fact that Mauro Icardi, Serie A's joint top goal scorer this season, missed out altogether. You've got Higuain, Dybala, Aguero. Who do you see being Messi's main accomplice going forward?
I like watching Sergio Aguero. I'm a big fan of the way that he plays, but here I'm actually going to have to say Gonzalo Higuain. He has a reputation as a choker in big matches, but we've seen this season with Juventus that he's done ever so well in the very biggest of games, in the Champions League for example, and he also scored the goal that pretty much clinched them the title versus Inter. So yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing what Gonzalo Higuain can do. He's right at the peak of his career, and I think he could have a really good World Cup this time around.
Of course, Croatia's squad is pretty impressive in itself, with a very strong midfield and attack. You've got the likes of Luka Modric, Ivan Rakitic, Mario Mandzukic and one of my personal favourites, Ivan Perisic, who, when in form, can create something out of nothing for his teammates, can be lethal in front of goal, but will also put in big defensive efforts. I think Croatia on their day can match it with some of the best. The question is, can they lift for the occasion? Chloe, who have you got your eye on from this squad?
You're right, they really do have some star players, but have a look out for Milan Badelli in the centre of the park. He spent the last 4 years at Fiorentina and really has been excellent. He wins the ball back, he makes the right pass, he does the quieter jobs, he may not attract the headlines, but he really could make the difference in this World Cup for Croatia.
I have to agree, he's definitely a significantly underrated player. Well, once again, we don't want to write off any teams too quickly, though can you realistically see the other two nations getting through to the knockout rounds? Of course, Iceland have shown us before that they shouldn't be written off too quickly.
Yeah, I think it's going to be Argentina and Croatia in this group. I can't see anybody else really challenging, although my hope for this group is that Iceland can provide us with the kind of entertainment that we saw at Euro 2016. They're a small nation, they're gutsy, they're proud of their players, and it could be one of the real good stories of this summer's World Cup.
I really need to start disagreeing with you on some of these group predictions, but have to go Argentina 1, Croatia 2, although I would not be surprised if Croatia can grab a draw against Argentina. I wouldn't be surprised to see them actually top the group, so it's not beyond all reasonable doubt. Next up, it's Group E, which features the most successful nation in World Cup history, Brazil, as well as Switzerland, Serbia and Costa Rica. Of course, the last time we saw Brazil was in that infamous 7-1 loss to Germany, which I'm sure sits as one of the most surreal football experiences for fans across the globe. Chloe, is it time for redemption?
Absolutely, yes. I think this is Brazil's time. They're my favourite to win the entire tournament. They've got quality throughout the squad and a good coach in Tite who keeps talking about balance. And I think, you know, they're less reliant on Neymar, something which saw them come unstuck in 2014 with that disastrous result. They've got quality all over the squad, right through from the excellent goalkeeper Alisson. Ones to watch for me. I can see them lifting the trophy come July the 15th.
Well, there it is, Chloe's tip to win it. And it's hard to really blame you. It really is a who's who of some of the best players around the world. You've got Neymar, Coutinho, Paulinho, Fernandinho, Willian, Marcelo. Who's your tip to really lead the way in Russia?
I think obviously we'd have to say that Neymar is a major boost from Brazil coming back from injury, but I think Alisson might prove to be a key player because Brazil have always been known for their attacking prowess, but he is a really special goalkeeper. He's proven for AS Roma this season that he can make some superb saves even in the most high pressure of games, so he's definitely one to look out for.
I have to say I'm so excited to see Philippe Coutinho at a World Cup. I've watched him since he made the move to Inter as a teenager. He just missed out on the 2014 World Cup squad, and you can assure he'll be raring to go for this one. He's shown us time and time again that he can perform at the highest level. He's done it for Liverpool. He's seamlessly transitioned to Barcelona this season, and I really think he could do some special things for Brazil in Russia. Moving to the other teams, I'd say it'd be one of the biggest cup shocks ever if Brazil didn't go through. But the other spot you'd have to think is well and truly up for grabs.
I think this group might prove to be one of the most exciting in terms of who's going to get the second place. Costa Rica have already proved that they're capable of springing a surprise, as we've seen before with them, although I do think they are probably the least favourite to go through. Serbia and Switzerland are really close in terms of the level that they're at. Switzerland do have a core of really experienced players who are all coming into their peak at the same time at this World Cup, but they might struggle up front. Whereas Serbia have been disorganised, they've been internal politics, disarray, but they have got some really talented players. As we've seen in Serie A this season, Sergej Milinkovic-Savic is an absolute revelation, and somebody could pay in excess of €100 million for him this summer. So Serbia too, they're not as reliable as Switzerland, but they do have those special players who could make something happen. So I'm looking forward to seeing who can progress through with Brazil in this group.
It really is a shame with Serbia. As you mentioned, there is so much talent in that squad, but it seems like those off-field issues have severely stunted the team's development. I'll be quite brutal in that I can't see Costa Rica doing too much at this tournament, though Switzerland, while not amazing on paper, they do seem to put it together as a team. Okay Chloe, predictions for Group E.
This one is really tough to call. I think we will see Brazil go through as group winners as expected. However, second place is really tight between Switzerland and Serbia. I'm going to have to plump with Serbia though, just because I think they've got that little bit more of individual flair and talent, and I think they will go through to the knockout stages this time.
Obviously I have Brazil topping the group though. While I see Serbia as the next strongest squad, I think Switzerland have proven so hard to beat, and I could really see them scraping through, so I'm going to go Switzerland to get through in this one. We finish off with Group F, which features the reigning champions Germany taking on Mexico, Sweden and South Korea. It's another one of those groups with an overwhelming favourite, and indeed the favourite to take out the cup. Chloe, how far do you see them going in Russia?
Germany are always going to be among the favourites in my opinion. They're the holders, they seem to do well in big tournaments even if they're slightly unfancied beforehand. I do wonder if whether leaving Leroy Sané at home is going to be a mistake for them. He's won the Premier League with Manchester City and all the plaudits that have come with that. But I do expect them to be at least around the semi-finals, if not the final once again this year.
There's been a couple changes since 2014. Philipp Lahm's retirement arguably the biggest one, though many of the same players return for the 2018 edition. Who do you think they'll be most reliant on this time around?
The man I've picked out from Germany's squad is Chelsea defender Antonio Rudiger. We saw from his time at Roma, he was always comfortable on the ball, he's a competent defender, he's everything you want from a centre-back. And he's made that step up to Chelsea really smoothly, and I think his performance in the FA Cup final proved that he's really ready for some big games and hopefully ready to shine in this tournament this summer.
They really are a great mix of experience and youth. I think Thomas Müller, while he's not as central as he used to be in the squad, has the potential to have yet another big tournament. He's been there and done it all before. He scored 8 World Cup finals goals, so you really can't write him off. Though beyond Germany, I found it really hard to pick a second strongest team. Chloe, who stands out for you?
This is a bit of a tricky one for me. I'm not sure Mexico are brimming with quality. Obviously they have Javier Hernandez, aka Chicharito, who plays for West Ham. He could be among the goals in the group stage. And also a player that I've had experience of is Carlos Salcedo, who used to play for Fiorentina at fullback. He was maybe a little bit error prone, but in general good quality. Possibly Mexico can limp through, but it's a bit of a 50-50 on that one, I think.
I have to say I quite like Sweden. They are far from a team of superstars, but they are a strong and compact team. As they showed against Italy, they can make it incredibly hard for opposition to break them down. And then you've got someone like Marcus Berg up front, who scored 8 goals during the qualifying rounds. I think they could really surprise some people. We've pretty much made it known, but Chloe, predictions for this group?
Yeah, I'm going to go Germany and Mexico on this one.
Yeah, you can't go past Germany to top it, but I'm going to go with Sweden for runner-up. Another 3 groups down, 2 to go. Chloe, thanks for joining us once again, and we'll see you very soon.
Thanks guys, talk to you soon.
In the meantime, for all your football news, head over to EuroFantasyLeague.com. Make sure you've listened to the Euro Fantasy League podcast, which is covering the World Cup, so you have quite a bit to listen there. And be sure to check out the brand new fantasy game for the upcoming tournament. You can register to play at www.fantasy-worldcup.com. Otherwise, I'll see you next time.